policy, and we'll start with Mr. Russell.
Full right. That's part of our system, and I can support that. I think if citizens found that I was doing something that they disagreed with, and I realize when we talk about citizens, we're talking about a part, because not everybody agrees. And so when we say the citizens, there's a little bit of care to be taken there. But if there's enough of the swell to understand that something needs to be done differently, I would support that, because that is the way we do things in our country, as needed. And a lot of that can possibly be avoided as we listen to each other before it gets to that point. But nonetheless, if it does, there's a perfect right. Shouldn't be any recrimination or any type of feelings in that regard for it, because we're all just trying to state what we really think. And if we respect each other truly, we would accept that.
Mr. Uri, I didn't see you take anything to eat, so...
You haven't furnished anything to eat.
Wasn't sure it was my role.
I'm on a seafood diet. Seafood, I eat it. Okay. I fully support the right of the citizens to petition. However, I do not, I'm not going to agree with everybody that signs a petition, but I'm also not going to hold it against them because they believe differently than me, and they might sign it and I may not want to.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Swanson.
Ditto. Absolutely. Whether you were for or against the public works, whether you signed the petition or you didn't, I felt strongly at the time, and I still feel strongly now, that you as the citizens deserved the right to express your opinion about it. I felt that way. The original petition I signed, I circulated a couple of those petitions for the sole purpose that as a citizen, I want the right to decide if I'm going to be paying on a bond. And if the city decides to go ahead and do it, great. But I support that 100%.
Mr. Satterthwaite.
I believe that we're talking about the First Amendment, and that's very important, that citizens have a right to speak up. The laws are written. We as residents of North Ogden are going to select some people to run to administer in the city government and council and the mayor. And that vote is a vote of trust, and we should trust them. And it should work that way where they will make most of the decisions. But the law does allow for relief of citizens if they find that they, during their term, find that they disagree. And in those cases, I fully support. I think it's our First Amendment right to petition. Usually the threshold's pretty high, and we have to get a lot of signatures before government should listen. But when those requirements are met, government should listen. And they did, and we voted, and we moved ahead on this public works building.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor.
I agree. The state of Utah provides for the right to petition. We've received many petitions on a lot of different issues on the city council, petitions for sidewalks, petitions recently about an employee to be hired, and every one of them we receive and take the input. And I think it's an important right for citizens to have to be able to do a petition. I did not support the petition. I did not act against the petition. I felt that was the citizens' right, and the citizens executed it.
Mr. Uri. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Bigler.
I do believe in residents' right to do that. I do believe that as elected officials that most of you good people don't feel like you have to petition with every little thing. You elect people that you could trust that they will vote most of the time kind of in accordance with what your values and principles and beliefs are. And I've said before, I've never been involved in a petition before other than the Public Works. That's the one I've been involved in, and I was heavily involved in it. And what that did, what the First Amendment says is, what a petition does is it takes away the vote of the elected officials if enough people think that in that thing the elected officials didn't represent them properly. It takes the vote away from them and puts the vote in the hands of the people. It doesn't kill the issue. It just puts the vote in the hands of the people. In that last council, the council 2 years ago, I was the only one that joined you in allowing you the right to petition. I even said it in the council meeting, would anybody else join me in allowing him to do it so we don't have to petition, allow him to vote?
Thank you, Mr. David. We come now, some would say, to the crowning blow.